Good morning, Niagara. You're tuned to Car Connection, where the coffee's hot, the tools are ready, the talk is always tuned up. I'm your host, Motormouth Jenkins, coming to you straight from the Car Connection workshop, where we mix a little humor, little know-how, and a whole lot of horsepower. Here, it's not just about fixing cars, it's about keeping you rolling and saving you money, giving you the confidence to understand what's under that hood, from the classics to the commuters, the weird noises, to what the heck moments. We've got you covered. So grab your coffee, sit back, join the crew, because this is Car Connection, your Monday through Saturday morning pit stop for stories, smarts, a few good laughs. I'm Niall Motormouth Jenkins, inviting you to join us for the morning Motormouth 8 a.m. drive time. Thanks for checking in with us if you're just scooting through the drive-thru. It is the weekend. Things shut down, if you know what I mean. No disrespect intended. Double check your order. Sip test it to make sure. Yeah, never just look. Sip test. Very important. Then you really have all the answers. Make sure your snack is not as stale as a hockey puck dipping it in milk. That would be bad. It's still going to be hard. That puck will still be hard, even though it's stale and you dip it in milk. Not going to happen, or hot coffee. So join us this morning. Lots to get through. If you're on a working weekend, we will pray for you. Exactly. If you're heading, kind of cracking open your weekend, well, it is Mother's Day weekend. Thank you to all the mothers out there. Because if we didn't have mothers, how many of us would be here? Yeah, like it hatched from some kind of oceanic goo in a teacup. No. Out from under a rock, maybe? Perhaps. Baked in the sunshine? Popped up out of the dirt? Probably not. Mothers. We all need them. We've all had mothers. My mother's been gone now for 4 years, and miss my mom all the time. She was a lot of fun. And the commander-in-chief in the family household, keeping things all screwed tightly together. So I dedicate this program, this Mother's Day weekend, to my mom, Patricia Mary Nightingale Jenkins. So happy Mother's Day, everyone, and make sure you get her something nice, not tie and socks or underpants. Something really nice. Do something nice, okay? And take her out for dinner, or make your mom a really nice barbecue. And don't forget, everybody's going to need their snow pants. We got the weekend weather coming up, and I wish I had a better forecast for you that would say the moms are going to have a wonderful do nothing Mother's Day barbecue gathering, get together, desserts, great food and company, and maybe some music in there. It's probably going to be indoor sports. I'm just telling you. Well, we got 3 questions picked out. Thank you to all of those of you who took the necessary time, just to create a very small email with your question in it. Thank you for doing that. You're amazing. That's right. Give yourself a pat on the back. You are amazing. Outstanding. So we got 3 outstanding questions today to share with you, because it is Saturday, Q&A Saturday here in the Car Connection workshop. Questions and answers. So your questions have to be in to the studio by high noon, in the Car Connection corral. Okay, so you got to send them over, motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com. If you don't get them in, you don't ask the question, I have no idea what the answer is going to be, but I'll probably tell you 28. The last I checked, that was the average answer to a non-question. 28, just so you know. So you can take that from me on that. We have our morning swiggy coming up, so if you're joining us for the very first time, couple housekeeping tips. You need a package of 16 Crayola crayons. They're the best on the market, and they taste awful. I don't know why I said that. You need a pressed out leaf bag, which is what we call our car connection laptop. Never breaks down, never a black screen of death. You can just take your crayon and continue to take your notes. Exactly. Simple. Doesn't run out of battery. Don't need to plug it in. And you can smash it with a hammer and it still works every single time. So, secondly, you're going to need your weekend, Saturday morning go-to beverage, whatever that is. Ours is special today on Saturdays. I have a special treat on Saturday morning before I have my morning coffee. Yes, I get my natural elixir in, but then right after that, I follow that up with a favorite Saturday morning beverage, all in good time. Yeah, all in good time. Like to say thank you to City Auto Sales and Leasing, Earl and Louise Grant, for making today's podcast possible, selling low mileage, top quality vehicles at fair prices. That's what has earned them a title, Greater Toronto Area's premier pre-owned auto store, for that specific reason. Earl and Louise, our husband-wife team, they've been doing what they do. Pick out top quality pre-owned vehicles at fair prices, and I'll tell you, their vehicles look like brand spanking new. So that's how they've earned their spot with Car Connection. I don't just sign up anyone, folks. If you don't meet the criteria, I'll give you a list of things you need to take care of. But for the most part, businesses that I'm referred to and vet, they're amazing people doing amazing things, offering amazing products, goods, and services that they're passionate about. That's Earl and Louise Grant at City Auto Sales and Leasing. They have in-house financing available. If you do not see the specific vehicle in their inventory, do not hesitate to ask. If the vehicle you're looking for is out there and it meets their requirements to be a quality vehicle, they'll find it because they have the resources to find the low mileage, top quality vehicles that they provide already for the last almost 25 years. So connect. And if you're 90 minutes away and you can get to a vehicle that is nice, really, really nice, and you're dealing with amazing, honest people, it is worth the drive. Absolutely. Buying a vehicle privately, we're going to talk about that because I'll tell you, people lie like freaking carpets when it comes time to buy a vehicle off them in their driveway. Oh, yes. And I can give you some telltale signs that would be red flags if that's what you want to do. But for most people, it's good to have that referral. So City Auto Sales and Leasing bringing to us this morning our weekend weather. So let's jump right into that as you prepare your morning beverage. So if I caught you off guard and it's still dripping or whatever, it's espresso, whatever it is you're making, some green goo in the blender, whatever that is, that's your morning shtick. Well, here's what we got. As I said a few moments ago, it's Mother's Day weekend, and it would be nice if it was going to be sweet outside to have a nice family barbecue with the moms being the center of attention. You may have to change those plans. Saturday's low is going to be 44 degrees between 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. I'm still kind of out of town at that time. The high will be 61 degrees between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. Temperature range will feel like 40 to 56 degrees. Wind will make it feel cooler than the actual temperature. Precipitation possible 0.1 of an inch. Well, let's take a look at Sunday now. What is Sunday going to bring us in the Niagara region anyway? If you're in my region of the Niagara region on the south shores of Lake Erie, this is what we're getting. I can't say for wherever you are, but by all means in the comments through our YouTube channel, let me know where you're tuning in from, where you're viewing from. On the podcast, you can do the same thing. Go into our YouTube channel. All our podcasts automatically export over to there. So they're sitting there for you. Let me know where you're listening from. It's kind of cool to know that. So today, on the South Shores, Lake Erie in the Niagara region, it's Sunday. Sunday's low will be 44 degrees after 11 p.m. Great. The high will be 56 between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. The temperature range will feel like 43 degrees to 50 degrees. Wind will make it feel cooler than actual temperatures. So you know what I have to say to that? Wah, 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 wah. Not good. Am I looking at the right day? Yeah, sun and cloud. High of 56. Gonna feel more like 44. Do we have any rain for Sunday? Well, let's have a look. You see. Glad you asked. Let me pull that up. 0. There's a winner. We'll take it, right? That's all we got. That's it. Nothing warm. You're going to be snow pants if you're outside barbecuing, or at least get out of the wind so you can take advantage of that balmy 54 degrees. Woot, woot. Exactly. Not going to get our 30-day fuel savings challenge in until we get the weather to hit 62 to 65 and stay there. Thank you. All right, let's jump into our morning swiggy together. Here's how we do it. If you're brand new, 3, 2, 1, we swiggy. You got it? Okay, so let's say thank you to Kathy, Dave, and Dan Grimo at Niagara Block, 5000 Montrose Road, Niagara Falls, building Canada since 1931. They have all the bricks, blocks, designer type, plain old cinder blocks. They've got it. Interlocking brick, hardscape landscaping materials. They can help you with a contractor, line you up with a contractor as well. You got to talk to Kathy Grimo for that. She has the list, the secret list, so you can get someone you can count on to get your project off the ground, estimate it, get it started, get it done, so you can enjoy that beautiful outdoor space that you've always wanted. And make sure you got a kitchen, ladies. This is the Diva Center. Yeah, so it's not just outside living, it's also kitchen space. That's right. So the fellas can make dinner for you on rotation schedule. And then you just fire hose it down to clean it off when you're done. Piece of cake. So they can help you with all of that and more. They have all the designer rocks, and they can create a beautiful, I call it English rock walkway, you know, where the moss kind of fills in. Hey, is the order up? Oh, false alarm? Okay. Can you rustle me up a hot cup of coffee and one of those donuts with little chocolate sprinkles on? That'd be nice. Thank you so much. You are so cool. Yeah, let's get our swiggy done. So you can find all our program partners and recommended businesses as we continue to build back at lightning speeds our Car Connection Business Network website, because it got pretty much annihilated during the COVID days. Yeah. That took 26 years to build it and 4 years to wreck it. Yeah, the wrecking ball came in. So we're building back. So if you're a business owner in the Niagara region or wherever you are, we'd love to have you part of our recommended business lineup. I'd like to find out who you are, where you are, and the products, goods, and services you provide, so that we can bring you on board and make your business our business to tell others about your business and grow your business. That's what we've been doing for 32 years. So we're building back at lightning speeds. Where have I heard that before? It's almost like a cartoon. That must be it. Must have been the cartoons. So everything we talk about lives at our website. It's the biggest drawer we have in our toolbox. So everything is there in one place for you to connect with us, be part of our online community with Instagram, Facebook. Our Skippy, our videographer, she puts up reels and bloopers and funny stuff, is very creative individual, putting together things that make me look stupid and foolish, which is great. Yeah, it helps with digestion. Exactly. We're also featured in the Stevensvilleontheweb.ca website, I'm just saying. Yeah, we are in there as experts. You know what an expert is? You know, when you back the car out over the garden hose and it closes off the water and then you finally get off the garden hose and the water shoots out, that's an expert. That's what I'm glad somebody explained that to me. So we are featured as a automotive expert on that website, and Skippy created that website to bring the businesses in Stevensville together with the community and the community with the surrounding businesses. And I think that is so cool to have a Stevensville communal website. So check it out. You'll find us there, and you'll find all kinds of amazing local businesses in Stevensville. And you might run into my pops. They've been there almost, I think, 40 years now. Wow. You might run into Skippy and all her friends and family. They're there as well. I know a lot of people in Stevensville. I hear they're people. I do. Stevensville has people. You'll also see our iHeartRadio icon. We are on all the platforms. So if you type us in, even if you're on Podbean, yeah. What kind of car would you own that you could give it the name Podbean? Send me an email. So I want to see if you picked the same vehicle that I have in mind to call it Podbean. Motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com. So type us in, Car Connection Workshop, wherever you're pulling your podcast from. We are there. Apple, Spotify, Amazon, the like, iHeartRadio. We're there. And you can find us there. We have an amazing online store. Thank you to Total Freedom Darien Center, New York. Freedom Expressions put that together for us, and they make all the items on the Total Freedom Addiction campus. And that helps them to be self-contained. They don't get any outside funding. So what we have done is all the merchandise that you purchase, all proceeds go to the Total Freedom Addiction campuses, Canada and USA. So thank you to all of you for taking time to making a cool purchase online. We have our own official Car Connection beverage mug as well. We call it coffee mug because that's what we've made it into. It's our coffee mug, okay? Have your whatever your beverage in there. It's all right with us. No problem. We won't tell anyone, that you're having a smoothie. A smoothie. Yeah, it's okay. You buy safely online, order online, size, color, whatever it is you choose, pay for it. It gets shipped directly to your door from Freedom Expressions, Darien Center, New York. So how cool is that? That is super cool. Thank you again for those who are taking time to support our online store and to help those who've made the decision to say goodbye to their addiction for good. We want to help them get to a total freedom addiction campus, Canada and USA. All right, swiggy time. You ready? I did say I'd count it down. 3, 2, 1. Man, that is so good. I can't make that a habit. Everything in moderation. I'm having another swiggy. Let's just do it. It's Saturday. It's weekend. How many of you could guess what beverage I'm having Saturday morning after I've had my naturals? It charges my battery and deals with that cortisol thing. Makes you look like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. We have built and redone what we called many years ago our Car Connection Maintenance Schedule Kit. It is now completely revamped and put together just for you, our Car Connection listeners, our YouTube family over there, Facebook, Instagram, Stevensvilleontheweb.ca, all of you. It's all been put together and revamped just for you because how long would your car last? How long would you keep it? How long could you keep it? And how long would your car last if you actually followed a proper maintenance plan? Exactly. So we have built a laminated, reusable car connection fleet maintenance system that makes it super simple for all age groups, sizes, dimensions, everything. So no excuses. It's laid out in so easy terms. If you can make a grocery list and mark the products off as they go in the basket, you got this licked. It is super simple. But this is what it's going to do for you. It's got all your maintenances, all your services, all there right before your very eyes. You don't have to think about a thing. Just put a check mark in the box. Could you do that? Could you put your starting mileage on the top of the sheet? Could you use a dry erase marker? Could you put the stickies or the magnets on the back of it and hang it up where you're going to track your very own vehicle maintenance? Could you do that? Could you email me if you get stuck? The instructions are about like 4 lines. But if you get stuck, I'll help you out. But first and foremost, we put a whole page together on our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com, totally dedicated to our car connection fleet maintenance system. I would highly recommend you take a moment in time, wherever you can pinch that off, and check it out, because this is your Rubicon. Get yourself a car connection fleet maintenance system. Get it set up. Post it where you're going to see it. Don't put it where you're not going to see it, because then you won't use it. Post it where you're going to see it and work it. And when you get through the whole year, you know what you do? You get a damp cloth, and not a damn cloth, a damp cloth, and wipe it off and start again. Environmentally friendly. Yep, there's no COs released into the atmosphere on this, and it's completely environmentally safe, friendly, non-toxic, non-flammable, the whole 9 yards. You can't ask for any more than that. It's like having me with you, but I'm not there. So check it out. Stay ahead of the breakdowns. Keep your older vehicle and stay away from this junk that they're putting out, because it's costing the consumer a fortune. Yeah, they want their stuff just to last. Hopefully, they know where the breakages are going to come, where they've shortchanged the vehicle and the product quality. They know that. It's been a well-known fact, Narmy, for a number of years, since the early 90s. I've been tracking this since the early 90s, and here it is. And it's gotten worse. And when a manufacturer says these words, if we have to change a component for a second or third time, our hope is that the third time round they make it over the end of warranty line, so when it breaks again, they get to pay. Not my words. Go and do your homework. That is a disgusting statement, friends. That's where I go, not today or tomorrow. That's when I change brands and move on. That sends the signal to them. When we decide to become prosumers instead of consumers and not be loyal to them, watch what happens when the bottom line falls out because they're losing market share. Their heads stick up like a marmoset, let me tell you, and change will come quickly, especially when the other guys are taking their lunch money, biting their sandwich, putting it back in their lunch bucket, and stealing their milk money on top of that. When they're losing market share to the other guys, yeah, they're going to be uncomfortable and puckering. You bet. So thank you to, I just dropped that on the floor. Who did that? Can we get a name here? Dropped my stuff on the floor. I can't believe it. Thank you to our certified financial planning professionals, Tony Miele, Larry Tetro, Pay attention, folks. They got 50 years of experience. They work with one of the largest financial companies in the world, IG Wealth Management. And here's what they do for many people. Neither Tony or Larry need another client. They are super busy. But because they know me and they are my personal financial planners and have been for over 20 years, these guys are my brothers from other mothers. They will sit down with you, listen to where you're at, answer your questions, and formulate a game plan to help you move forward at no cost, complimentary. So you can leave your wallet, leave your purse at home, book yourself for the discovery meeting we call an hour and a coffee, get your questions answered on your investment portfolio. If you got it at a bank, they're going to tell you need to move it. It's not making you no money. And they'll show you why. Debt, retirement, proper estate planning, not something you do yourself, fellas. It's not a, hey, honey, look what I did today. No, times no, plus no equals no. You need a proper estate plan that includes any 18-year-old or older family members that are living under your roof. Are they set up that you're their health proxy? Good question, huh? Mortgages. I haven't had a mortgage with a bank, and I will never go back. Been treated like rubbish by most banks. I'll change that. All banks that I tried to deal with. Horrible. And then when you become a business owner, yeah, when your bank manager looks at you and says, you know what, Niall, I hate small business. See ya, Frank. Yeah, I got out of there, went over back to the credit union. Their mortgage rates, very competitive. The ladies in Winnipeg and the mortgage department are phenomenal to deal with. You got a question, you'll get an answer. ASAP. Life insurance, critical illness insurance, and a whole lot more services. So make sure you say thank you to our certified financial planning professionals, Tony Melly and Larry Tetro, for making today's Saturday Motormouth's Morning Drive Q&A session. So let's jump right in. It has been a crazy week in the automotive world, what's going on out there. But you know what? If you want to keep your vehicle long-term and be part of the 400,000 kilometer club like our 07 FJ Cruiser is, on the back door of being 400,000 K and running strong, it is doable all day long. Our 99 Honda Civic Rocket, we call it, is like at 399 and still running strong. What else we got out there? It's got some mileage. I think those are the two highest. Yes, those are the two highest ones right now. The 08 Rogue has 121,000 on it, so it's not even warmed up yet. It's still quite a baby. But, you know, when you take care of stuff and you be the next caregiver, like you'd look after a human being, if you look after your car like it's a human being, you'll never need to make car payments. You won't. And as I've said already, everything you need to know and ever needed to know about taking care of an automobile is in everything that we do. We now have made it through Car Connection. You have more ways to watch, listen, and engage. If you haven't signed up for our YouTube channel, you are missing the boat. That's what I can tell you. It's like having your own automotive shop, classroom, right with you, and you can sit and watch it and learn. Again, doesn't matter what age group you are. My pops is 89 years old. He has all his faculties, praise God. He still drives, and he takes care of his automobile. So what's your excuse? And he's on his own. So I have ladies down the street, they're widows. They're on their own. And I'm teaching them how to take care of their vehicles because their husbands used to do that. Single moms, just single ladies, quite often get ripped off at the automotive repair shops. So sign up for our YouTube channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, ring the notification bell so you're notified when new videos come out every Tuesday. 2 for Tuesday and 1 every Friday. So there'll be one will have dropped yesterday at 4:30 in the early evening. Join us on our YouTube channel. There's well over 200 plus videos, and all the podcasts that are there. There's what are we at today? 160 podcasts for you to listen to, and that's not a repeat of what's on the YouTube channel. There's no crossover. I know how not to do that after 32 years of radio. There's no crossover. So everything you tune into is different from the other. Same with the descriptions I write and put together for the YouTube videos and the podcasts. I put a load of nuggets in there. Again, no crossover. What you see here or there is different than from one another on purpose, because that's how you will learn. Question number 1. You mind if I have some more of that? All right, time gets away. There's 30 minutes gone right there. So that gives us 30 minutes. That gives me 10 minutes a question to give you a proper answer. So listen up, get your crayons fired up, get that leaf bag ready, positioned to take notes. Question number 1 comes in from Arthur, not the place Arthur, the person named Arthur. Question 1, I heard your podcast on maintenance free, ... I listened to the they, quote unquote, and I have 140,000 plus kilometers with no transmission service. Now what? Have I ruined my transmission? Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but he's not mentioning that transmission's acting up or shifting odd or some weirdness going on. So I'm going to do something I don't normally, is say the word assume. So I am going to assume his transmission is still functioning, fully functioning and going through all the gears. So that's a great question. And I do have a great answer. But before I say that, I say this. Please, folks, the best hunk of advice I could give you after 44 years as a service tech, and I think that's actually shallow a few years, but who's counting? Stop listening to the talking heads, would you? Because they know how to play the car game. The manufacturers know how to play the car game. The dealers know how to play the car game. The dealers play against the manufacturers and they hate them. And the manufacturers play against the dealership and they hate them, but they all have the same vision for you. Stack the deck in their favor. That's what they do. And they've been doing this since like early 90s. I opened my shop in 1991 on the Hamilton Mountain. And we saw this garbage back then. And now it's really gotten ugly. And it's really coming out and being spoken about now. You've really got to stop listening. If anyone opens their mouth, I'll tell you this. Whoever it is, I don't care who it is, opens their mouth and says the words maintenance free, insert the word liar, because that's what they are. There's inserting and giving you a lie that is from the pit of hell and it smells like smoke. Don't fall into that. That's called they're stacking the deck. They don't want you to take care of your automobile. They want something big to fail, like a transmission, that would, when they tell you how much it's going to cost to fix it out of your pocket, could be as high as $16,000. What are you going to say next? Toss them the keys and say, I'm not fixing it. I'm just going to get another car. They win. That's what they're looking to do. And those are the words I heard just this last week that made my hair stand up. It was actually the quiet part was spoken out loud. Their hope is that they can tick you off enough with your vehicle breaking down that you will do just what I said. Toss them the keys and go see the salesman who's going to lie through their stinking teeth to sell you a piece of junk that they probably don't even drive themselves. In fact, I would be pressed to say, oh, what vehicles do you drive in your home? What vehicles do you have in the driveway at your home? What are you driving today that's owned by you, not a loaner car or a company car? I would love to be a fly on the wall when that question's asked to see how many would be driving their own junk. Wouldn't that be interesting? That'd be an interesting question. So that's why they'll tell you the words maintenance free. Oh, that has synthetic oil. You don't need to change it. It's maintenance free because what they want is for the engine to fail or the transmission to fail or both major components that now you're on the tab to pay for it out of your pocket. And when they tell you the price tag, you're going to say, I need to talk to the salesman. I'm not putting that money into this thing. I want to get rid of it. And then they're going to offer you pittance for it. And you'll buy the same junk. That's the part I can never understand. I'd be so far out of there, gone. They wouldn't even be able to see the back of my trousers. I'm gone. I'm looking at something else. I'm getting out of there. I'm going to try something else. It's like you go to a restaurant. 3 times in a row, they serve you a meal that sucks. 3 times in a row. So why did it take 3 times before you go, I don't even want to pay for that? But will you go back a 4th time? If you do, I don't have an answer for that. I can't wrap my head around that decision. So answering Arthur's question, if a lot of you are in that position and your text saying, oh, no, you don't want to touch that. It's got over 140,000 K. That's when things are going to go wrong. You need a new technician. Fired. See ya. At 140, here's what I'm recommending. And I've done it a bazillion times. In fact, you can go to our YouTube channel. You can watch me changing the transmission oil on the 2008 Nissan Rogue. And I've never owned a Nissan ever. And I did all my homework on it before we decided, let's fix this thing. Let's rescue it. Let's bring it back to life. It had sat about 12, over a year. It was October to October. So that's let me figure that out. Okay, that's 12 and a half months. It was sitting. And it needed a ton of work. All the brakes done. Emergency brake done. But you can watch all that. So I learned that it had not had a transmission service. It's got a CVT transmission that needs to be loved. You don't abuse that baby. You pet the fur in the right direction and you tender, loving care it. So I changed. I did my homework. You put nothing else but NS2 Nissan transmission fluid in there, regardless of what the talking heads say. I go, talk to the hand. The ears aren't listening. We need to do more of that, folks. Talk to the hand. The ears aren't listening right now. You're doing a lot of this, and I want you to do this. Yeah, tight lips. So I went and got the fluid. It's got it had 119 and change on it, and I did the service. So it took 5, almost 6 quarts, I think it was. Was it 5? 6. I think it was 6. I bought 6. It was $158. But the transmission's like in the tens of thousands of dollars. So how many would you like to replace at that price? So I don't have any records on this vehicle. I don't know if it ever was changed. The fluid that came out wasn't burnt or anything showing indicators the transmission was running hot at any point. So hallelujah for that. We got a solid transmission to work with. Let's pick up the services and move on from here. So I would just, I'm not going to put it through the flushing machine. No siree. That wouldn't be a good idea. Not with some mileage on it. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the pan. On the Rogue, you don't drop the pan. But on a lot of transmissions, drop the pan, get a gasket and filter kit right from the manufacturer, and put the manufacturer spec oil in there, drain out as much as you can, and replenish that with fresh oil. That's going to remove any oil that's contaminated, because that's what happens. It picks up clutch and band material and metallic particles, and it travels in the oil. So I don't care what flavor oil's in there, synthetic wise, it still suffers thermal breakdown from heating, cooling. Getting it? It's running hot all the time. And that's why I say your cooling system works hand in hand with your automatic transmission. If the cooling system's not healthy, you're cooking your transmission, just so you know. Yeah. So you're not only cooking the burger, you're burning the bun. Okay? Got a visual on that? That's what you're doing. So you got to make sure that your cooling system in your vehicle, where it houses the transmission oil cooler lines, that the cooling system is top drawer 100% of the time, because that system is not a maintenance-free system either. If you want to watch some really cool videos, I just went through my whole cooling system on the 2007 FJ with its spring evaluation. And those videos are just popping up now. So you can see what a proper evaluation and service of a vehicle's cooling system looks like first-handed, and that's how I do it. So watch those videos. You will learn a lot. So Arthur, thank you for your question. I do what I call a dump and fill. And if it's vehicles, that transmission is equipped with a pan that can be removed and a new filter and new gasket put in, I am going to do that. And I am not going to shop the cheapest Chinese piece of filter kit you can get on the planet. No. Plus no times no equals no. You got it? That's no. I could Margaret Thatcher know you. Yeah, have you heard that before? Yeah, if you watch her, she goes, no. That's how she does it. So a dump, fill, filter, gasket, and on this Rogue that I just did, when we get to tail end of October, I'm going to change the oil on it again. Why? Because I know there's old oil in there in the torque converter that I can't get it out. It won't come out when you dump, when you do a dump and fill. So I've put fresh fluid in there. I want it to commingle with the old oil and torque converter for 5-6 months, and then drain it out again. And now, guess what? There's going to be more and more clean fluid in there, and all the grit and everything that gathers in the old oil is going to eventually be out. So then I'll be back on track with the oil change. And here's what you need to know. You ready? What is the oil change interval on most transmissions? Automatic transmissions? Not once in a while, or if you think about it at the dinner table, hey, honey, do you think it's time you change the automatic transmission fluid in my transmission? Oh, yes, sweetheart. I'll get on that right away this week. That conversation's probably not going to happen. It'll be, can you pass the butter and the pepper, please? Thank you. 30,000. Some transmissions require 30,000 kilometers, some 50. I can tell you for sure on the 08 Nissan Rogue with the CVT, if you got a Nissan with a CVT, you need to pay attention, folks, because that transmission does not have a really good resume. But if you want to pull something with it, you're going to burn that thing out. If you want to drive it like you stole it every day and never change the oil, you're going to burn that transmission out. And when you find out how much that puppy is, You're going to say, "Good night, Irene." Holy smokes, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. It needs to be changed every 50,000 kilometers. So it's now at 121 and change. And I did a service, so we can take 50K off of that. It still should have had almost 2 more transmission services to get to the 121. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'll catch it up, do another one in the end of October before winter hits, and we'll be moving in the right direction. So Arthur's got a vehicle with 140,000 K. He listened to the white talking heads that say everything is maintenance free, life is good. I would be doing a service on it right away, immediately, and again in 6 months. And then get back on track. That's what I would be doing. And then from there on in, check with the manufacturer to see if it's 30,000 or 50,000. But either way, you do not go past the 50,000 K. You change it early. Not push it an extra 10. Push it an extra 5. No, on time. On time. Transmissions are wickedly expensive. Question number 2 comes from Marg. Thank you, Marg, for sending that in to us for the Motormouth Saturday morning Q&A program. How do I know when to replace my shocks? Are they good for the life of the car? I'm hearing the talking heads again. Saying what? Maintenance free? They're like a little bird. Maintenance free. Maintenance free. Don't worry, maintenance free. The sky's not falling. Yes, it is. I just scored another swiggy. It was good. Very good. Can I have a moment? How do we know? Okay, first of all, age and mileage is going to play a factor. Visual inspection. Make sure that we don't have any worn bushings. We don't see any oil residue on the shocks and or McPherson struts. You might have a combination, shocks and McPherson struts. Those have coil springs on. You may have what we call coilovers, coilover shocks. The 07 FJ has coilover shocks, front and back, I believe. The little Honda Civic, the Rocket, that has coilovers on the back and struts on the front. And what's cool is you can buy those right out of the box. So I don't waste anybody's time and labor to break them down and get all the pieces. And you know what? You can just buy them complete, offload the old ones, bolt in new ones. Way you go down the road. That's to save the labor, the additional labor. That's the best way to go. Putting a little more money on the parts, but you're not spending it on labor while I rebuild old shocks and struts. It's not worth it anymore. And there are some really good quality brands out there that I have used myself that are decently priced. So we're going to do a visual. We're going to check, make sure there's no bushings worn out. We're going to check the front end, make sure there's, that the McPherson struts don't have an upper bearing plate that's seizing up or that's loose, that's worn out. So we got some sloppy loose suspension, so could be some thunking, could be some banging going on, so a road test is going to indicate that as well. But last and not least, we don't see any broken coil springs, and we just did a video on that. 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan needs another grand spending on it. Rear broken coil spring that was not reported, even after being to another shop in the local area, and they replaced the rear shocks. How did they stink and miss that? I don't know, because the suspension hangs when you unbolt the shock, so you've got to support the rear suspension on whichever side you're doing first. You unbolt the shock, you have to be supporting the suspension, otherwise it's going to swing down, coil spring's going to pop out, slam you right in the face, and you got to go to a dentist for emergency weekend dental surgery. Yeah, it gets ugly. So they would have had to support the rear suspension, then unbolt the shock absorber one side at a time. But if they were really fancy, they could do both sides at the same time and support the axle. How they missed a broken coil spring that was broken in 2 points is beyond me. Yeah. I don't know. I can't answer that one. Period. So even a blind hog can find an acorn once in a while. You know what I'm saying? So they missed that, but yet put brand new shock absorbers in about 1.5 years ago. Crazy, but it's true. So that's the stuff we're going to look for, some visual implications that the suspension is weak. But here's where we can nail it. I have a booklet, a manual, a measuring tape, and I can look up the year, make, and model. And we park the vehicle on a flat surface in the shop that we know is flat, not tapered. We go around, we check all the tire pressures, make sure the tire pressures are all set exactly the same on all 4 tires, so we know that the vehicle is sitting square. And then the book shows me where I need to take from road surface to vehicle measurements. And it shows you exactly where you're going to take the measurements. And then I just go around with a clipboard and a notepad, and I draw a picture of the car, where the 4 points are, and I write down the measurements. And then we compare those measurements with what's written in the book to be actual, and then we can see if the vehicle is sagging anywhere. So if it's sagging, in other words, it's lower to the ground in reference to the specifications in the book, then we know we have sagged out suspension, and that tells me we have weak shocks and struts. So if the measurement at the back on both sides is good, then we don't need to do anything there. If there's nothing broken, nothing missing, nothing leaking, we're good. But if it's at the front end of the car, the vehicle's sitting 1 inch or 2 lower than it should be, then that tells us that the McPherson struts, the gas charge is out of the cylinders, and it's not supporting the vehicle, so the coil spring is taking the brunt of what we call spring oscillations. They're working harder than they should, and that's when the coil springs tend to break. And if they break on the front, what tends to happen is you get like this moon-sized section of broken coil spring with a very sharp point on it, and it can... Are the muffins done? Oh, good. Thank you. I'll be done here in a minute. Appreciate that. You're awesome. Give yourself a pat on the back. That coil spring can turn and go right into the sidewall of the tire. So, yes, suspension is something you really need to pay attention to. So, Marg, you are on it, girl. Well done, you. We're going to take those measurements. We're going to do it as I just mentioned and be able to report back to you. Yes, no, maybe so. Do we need front suspension replaced or rear shock suspension replaced? Or maybe all 4 corners? The measurements will tell us, and the visual inspection will tell us what needs to take place there. So you're not paying for something that you don't necessarily need. I mean, if you're going to do the front and you've got it in the budget to upgrade the back, the same mileage is on the rear of the car as the front. Would you agree? I think you would. So if the money's there in the budget to do all 4 corners and keep the vehicle completely the same age, then just do it. Bring it up to speed. That's what I call an amazing upgrade. And here's what I would always hear from customers after they drove home, after we've done all the suspension work, done an alignment. They call and they go, this thing has never ridden like that since the day I got it. Because you don't realize how rough it's gotten until you make correction. And then all of a sudden, you know what? You're kind of thinking, hey, I got to put the ball cap on and the shades and go for a country drive. Yeah, you're styling. The car feels good. It feels good to you. Put some good, cool tunes on and grab a bevy and go for a little drive. Because you're now falling back in love with your old car. We're bringing it back to life for you. Question number 3, which will take us to the very end of the program today. Perfect timing. Sandra, question 3, she brings it to the table with, my mechanic tells me my vehicle is getting old. I should think about replacing it. Why? Well, that would be what I'd be asking Buddy. Yeah, Sparky. I'd be saying Sparky. Like, why? Like, what's your criteria for condemning my car? Is it structurally unsafe? Yes or no? Is there compromise on the structural integrity of my vehicle somewhere? Yes or no? I'd be saying, well, Sparky, are you wanting to like snatch it out of my pocket and say, hey, I'll take it off your hands for a couple $100? I can't tell you, ladies, the number of times I've seen that happen. So you want to be stinking careful, because that's how I ended up with the 99 Honda Civic DX 2-door hatchback 5-speed with air from my friend Jillian, who is a 26 plus year listener to Car Connection. And I'll tell you, I got a folder with that car from Jillian that is outstanding documentation on all the service work. And she followed everything all those years listening to me on the radio. So that vehicle was, I was very pleased to be able to have the opportunity to buy it off of her. And I have loved that thing inside and out since I got it. I can't tell you, I'd have to look at the file folder to see when I got it. But that vehicle is top drawer because it was well maintained. But somebody was trying to snatch it out from under her when she said she was thinking of getting rid of it. Oh, well, it's pretty old, you know. So when she got in touch with me and said, would you be interested? I'd really like for you to take it, because I know it'd be looked after. I said, you know what? The timing's perfect. Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that on. So it's been a blessing car since the day we got it. It's always been a spare, an air and a spare. And if somebody needs a ride and they can drive the stick, I let them take it for the day. So, yeah, it's been the spare. And now it's had its first car show. Now things have totally changed. It's like a superstar, the Rocket. So that happens. What I just told you happens. So that's where I would highly recommend to Marg, or Sandra, sorry. Stay with it. Stay with the program, fella. Get a second opinion. I would absolutely want a second opinion from someone who has no ulterior motive to snatch a quality vehicle out from under me by condemning it and saying, well, it's old, you know, you really shouldn't put any more money. I've heard those stories so many times. And, you know, the ladies trust these people and they get burned. They end up giving up a really good car when they really didn't want to. I mean, if you really want to get rid of it, and my friend Jillian wanted to get a mum van. So she now has mum van. And that suits her lifestyle more betterer. That's good English, right? I can hear my English teacher rolling in his grave going, yeah, that's typical of you, Jenkins. Yeah, he had a really bad hairdo. I'm just saying. Yeah, you need a second opinion on that, and maybe even a third opinion. Because, okay, it's old, but who cares? It may have mileage on it. Who cares? What is the integrity of the vehicle? What does a full value evaluation look like? Like I just answered a question for Marg. Let's do some measurements and see if the suspension is in good shape. And if it is, we check mark it on the fleet maintenance schedule, and away we go. Next, belts, hoses, fluids, filters, suspension, the rest of the suspension and steering, tie rod ends, ball joints, control arms, sway bar links. Let's look it over. That's all. If you're going to look at a car to buy it, what do? Go, yeah, it's the right color, I'll take it? No. You're going to go for a road test, I'm sure, and you're going to want to look it over. And you may even want your automotive tech that you can trust to look it over for you to make sure there's no boogity things. There's no boogie monster hiding in there when you get it home and all of a sudden you got to spend $3-4 on it. You don't want that. Who needs that headache? So that's where a proper evaluation, a full, complete evaluation, and that's what you'll see in the YouTube videos on our very own 2007 Toyota FJ Cruiser, just shy of 400,000 kilometers. I show you my spring evaluation. And it all started, it was the last one to come in, have the tires changed over from winter to summer, do a brake evaluation as I'm changing the wheels over, and that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. That's all I have left to do is change the wheels over, go from one wheel to the next one, pull the winters off, do a brake inspection evaluation and a service, put the summer wheel on, go to the next one, and then do the next one, and then do the next one. Now all set for the summer. Another review evaluation in October. So Marg's, Sandra's question, I keep saying Marg. That's because I know a few Margs. That's what it is. They're not Marge. It's Marg. You'll stand corrected. There's no E on the end. So it's Marg, not Marge or Margaret. It's Marg. So I respect that. Marg, great question number 2, girl. You knocked it out of the park. Sandra, get a second evaluation, and you want it written down, not a verbal. You want to see everything and anything that could possibly or potentially be a cash-sucking pig. Yeah. So if there's whatever the boogie monster is and is found, it's got to go on the evaluation sheet. Good, bad, ugly, it doesn't matter. Put it all, you want it all on there because you're going to make a decision whether to keep moving forward or go find another older one in great shape and move on. Somebody will pick that car up, trust me. In this day and age, it'll get snatched up overnight. So you don't want to lose something that you already have, and that being a really good vehicle that's got great structural integrity, and it may just need some upgrades. No big deal. No matter what you keep, will always need some upgrades. There's what's called normal wear and tear. Just like that. Doesn't matter if it's a 3-year-old, 8-year-old, 15-year-old vehicle, they're always going to need maintenance. No different than just a lawnmower. It's just a stinking lawnmower, right? Yeah, well, they get more expensive as you go along, and they're built lousy. So you want to keep the older one going as long as you can because it's far better than the new junk at 2.5 times the price. So even something as simplistic as a lawnmower has value. Some of the best, I got to tell you that story, some of the best lawnmowers I ever had in my life, I bought on the side of the road for $20. And when I moved from a place, when I moved down here in South Shores of Lake Erie, I always had what I called my Green Hornet. And why the lawnmowers were green all the time, I don't know. But I picked one up for $10, sometimes free. Be a free sign on it. And then you still feel like you're walking away. It says free right on it. Am I stealing this? Somebody going to come out after me with a stick or something? Those are the best lawnmowers I ever had. So I always kept one of those to cut the ditches. Keep my good lawnmower for the main grass patches itself. And I'd use the Green Hornet to cut the ditches and keep the blade sharp and take care of it. And, cut the ditches, keep them trimmed. So when I went to move from a rented house, my landlord says, man, your ditches look like 10 times better than mine. Can I have the lawnmower, the Green Hornet? He knew it was the Green Hornet. And it started first pull. The thing was like 35 years old. The deck was solid. He's like, can you leave the Green Hornet behind so I can continue with the ditches, keeping them looking nice? Do you mind? I go, well, where we're moving to, there's no ditches there. We're moving over to the north side of town. it's sidewalks. So I think I said, Jeff, you've been good to me. I'll let you have the Green Hornet. You're kidding. How much do you want for it? I go, no, you can have it. You can have it. Just take care of it, okay? And I knew he would. He's a car guy. So I gave him my very last Green Hornet. I had 3 of them. And, yeah, it's just a lawnmower. Well, it's just a car. We don't need to make it bigger than it is. An evaluation is going to give you all the answers you need. And Sandra, that's what you need. You need a complete evaluation. Let's look at it from stem to stern, top to bottom, north, south, east and west, and be honest in the evaluation and take a good look and see what the list looks like. And let me tell you, if to get that vehicle in top drawer condition, you're going to need to spend $3,000. How many car payments is that with interest? Not too many. Couple of months maybe. Maybe 1 month. I had a neighbor. His truck payment, $2,200 a month. When he said that to me, I went like, Mike, what? What did you say? Yeah, my truck payment's $2,200 a month. I got to get rid of it. I go, it's just a piece of sheet metal and rubber, right? It's not the earth we're standing on. I said, it's depreciating just after today. He goes, I got to get rid of it. I can't keep it. It's keep me in the poorhouse. $2,200. So, Sandra, if you're listening, what do you think, honey? I think if it needs $3,000 worth of work and she's solid, you keep running it. You beat me and take it to 500,000 kilometers. Don't worry what's on the odometer. Just take care of it. That wraps up this edition. If you'd like your answer to your question heard on the air, on the podcast, it's simple. Every Friday by noon, I need your questions in to my email box at motormouth.jenkins@gmail.com. Come and join us anytime for our morning podcast, Monday through Friday. Motormouth's Morning Drive, 8 a.m. on all podcast platforms. Thanks for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, we've appreciated you being with us. Don't forget to sign up and subscribe, like, share, follow, ring the notification bell so you don't miss a single video that comes out. We have 3 new ones come out every single week. Skippy and I are really busy bringing more and more content to you so that you can be a professional consumer, a pro consumer, instead of a con consumer, and learn, just like I have in 44 plus years, how to play the car game and win every single time and put money back in your pocket. Keep your car till it gasps its last breath and it's still running. Amen. We'll see you Monday morning for another edition of Motormouth's Morning Drive. Till then, have a great Mother's Day weekend. Spoil her rotten, okay? Absolutely. We'll see you then. Happy, healthy motoring. Peace, patience, and kindness always. And thank you for your likes, your support, and joining our online community and buying some gear in our online store on our website. So everything you need to do to connect with us is all there for you on the homepage of our website, carconnectionbusinessnetwork.com. We'll see you bright and early Monday morning. Put the coffee on. We're going to come to your house. Bye for now.